Hi, it's Fran Spielhagen, and I'm going to try to help you work through uploading your IRB proposal. We are on the welcome page for our portal, my.msmc, and this is the first place that you will be able to find the IRB upload form under Departments and Areas, and there's the link. If you prefer, you can also go to the Forms and Links. Here is the IRB website. If you click on that, there we are. Before we create a project, let's take a look at the resources that we have loaded here for you. It says here, when you're submitting to the MSMC IRB for the first time, you must include a certificate issued upon your completion of NIH training. This training is incredibly important because it allows all of us to know the risks involved and the procedures that we have to follow. Also on this page, there are links to HIPAA, these are the Human Subject Regulations decision charts. This is how you will vet your own project. Each chart tells you more about what it is you are trying to do. So, is my activity involving human subjects? And it's a yes-no tree, and by the time you're finished, you will see what you need to do next. The final link I want you to see here is the flowchart that we created to show you how your process goes. So basically, you prepare your proposal. We decide what we're going to do. We read through the guidelines, complete our training, and we make sure we have finalized the proposal and minimized the risks, created a letter of consent, and so forth. Remembering here that you're doing this in a Word document so that it makes the upload more efficient. Then you submit your proposal, you go through, you complete the form, you include your NIH training, include your letter of informed consent, and you upload to the portal. The IRB meets regularly once a month. Proposals that are submitted by the 10th of the month will be discussed at the regular meeting. When the proposals come in, the chair and members of the committee examine the proposals and determine whether we have full, expedited, or exempt review. The federal government says all proposals must be noted by the IRB, and the researcher can specify the type of the review requested or expected. The IRB sanctions and says, okay, this is exempt, this is expedited, or it requires a full review. So for any proposal that is not a full review, they may be handled virtually, and thanks to the portal, that can be done way more efficiently. If there are modifications needed, it will go back to you on the portal, and it will be opened for you to go and amend. If the proposal is denied, you will also find that out on the portal. In the last year of 30-some proposals, only one was denied. The denial was related to a risk factor that was not met. Okay, so we're back here, and let's get started with our project. You will see Create My New IRB Project. If you have any other IRB projects that have been uploaded, they will be listed by academic year. So we'll start with Create My New IRB Project. Now, when we get into this part of the process, I strongly suggest that you have a Word document. So I have created a Word document for a study, and I have everything in here that I might want to upload. And so basically what I will do is cut and paste into the site. As the investigator, I have decided that this is probably an exempt project. However, what our federal guidelines say is that all projects need to be reported, and the IRB makes the decision as to whether it's exempt, expedited, or full. At this point in time, I would strongly suggest you save the project. And the reason for that is this will time out. The program doesn't know how long you're going to take to do either the typing or the cutting and pasting. And so it will time out, but it really is important that you save frequently. Okay, so from my document, I would go through and I would put in the benefits of the study and the risks associated with the study. This is an incredibly important piece right here, the risks. And the reason for that is that's what determines what your type of review is going to be. Not so much how risky it is, but how you're handling the risks. So you must acknowledge risks that are out there and how you will handle them. Okay, let's take a look at some of the other tabs that are here for you to complete. Using existing data. You have to then tell us where you're getting the data and how the data is identified or not. These are the pieces that talk about the risk factors. If you have a yes to any of the following, then you must explain. As you look at it, you realize that these cover every single possibility of risk. This is very important here, the last one here, the selection of group. If you're systematically selecting any of these vulnerable groups, you need to explain how and why. Okay, so here we have more on compliance and subjects and project risk. This is the piece where you say, I think this is the risk and this is how I'm handling it. But we understand that under federal guidelines, it's the IRB that retains final authority for determining the risk status of the project. And the reason for that is that there has to be an objective, peer-regulated group that protects the college also from risky projects. And so the IRB stands to protect the subject, protects you as the researcher from claims against what you did, protects the college from activities that could be considered risky. When we're seeking consent, we have to say how we're going to get consent. By the way, for children, anyone under 18, the children cannot give consent, but their parents do. Children can assent or dissent if they decide not to be participating. For example, if you're doing a project with children in a preschool and they don't want to be there anymore, well, they don't have to be there anymore, even though their parents said they should. Again, this protects the essential right of the individual. Obtaining written consent from the participants. Depending on the nature of the risk involved, you basically do have to get written consent from your participants, even if you are creating a confidential file through which their identification is masked. And so these questions are pretty self-explanatory. And then finally, here's our summary page. You can upload any other files that you need, and then you let us know what they are. And then you certify that all information is correct, and you're on your way. Once you upload, you will not be able to change it until it is sent back to you for modification. If you need to go back to any of the links, we have them here again for you. You can keep this file open and wait to submit it for approval until you have it absolutely the way you want it. You save it, you go back to your start page, and you can edit it again. Once you have completed everything, you can submit for approval, and as I said, if it's submitted before the 10th of the month, the IRB will handle it as quickly as possible within that next week or so. The other thing you need to know is that anyone on the IRB would be very, very anxious to help you with some questions and concerns that you have. So feel free to contact anyone on the IRB. We'll be happy to talk to you about it.